Hello, everybody. It is that time. We are getting back at it. And today, I'm going to be animating. Well, no. I'm going to be creating some more of your RHG characters for the Stones universe. We are currently now sitting at... Let me get the numbers up real quick. We are currently sitting at 67 characters, with the most recent being Chronicle, which has given rise now to the Avian stick figures with Chronicle and Crow for Crow. So now there's a little story brewing here between the two of them, that their kind was destroyed in some way, and it looks like Chronicle got stuck in maybe some oil spill or tar pits, and now has adapted like any survivor would, right? But we're gonna be moving on from them, and I'm thinking, what should be the first character I bring to life? I want to hear what you guys have to think, or what your thoughts on that. I have some ideas for Renz already. I have some ideas for Rosk. I want to kind of like get my hands wet animating just about everybody at some point. So let's be thinking about that today. In the meantime, I will be winding down the list, hopefully. But we're going to start with Sandsweeper today and see how everyone's doing. I hope everyone's having a good day. Let's see. Size 5. You're crazy. That's not a 5. Is there glow on this? Oh, it's the background shining through. Okay. Interessante. I don't remember the background changing color that much. Okay. Whatever. Neptune. Crow for Crow. Flavio. What's up, guys? How you doing? You guys excited for more characters today? I think ending on Chronicle was a good stopping point last night. That was a good one. I really like Chronicle a lot. I feel like Chronicle came out really well. Sandsweeper. Let's get that hex code generated. What color are we working with? A brown, kind of? That's different. Oh, it's like a... I don't know. It's like a red? Yeah, it's a red. It's like a clay red. Sandsweeper. Clay, huh? Whoa, that is a thin brushstroke. Let's not do that. There we go. Sandsweeper. You know how it is. What's up, Neptune? What's up, Penguin? How are we all doing? You guys gonna hang out with me for a while? I got a pretty early start, so we should be hanging out for a good bit. You know, the first part is just simply getting some pose down. Just drawing some shapes. Sandsweeper. I mean, the obvious would be a guy with a broom right off the bat, you know? But I don't know that I want to animate sand. I mean, we could, but like animating tiny little particles can get really annoying really fast. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the name leads us immediately to a broom, and you like, yeah, or a beach shovel, and you're like shoveling sand. But maybe we can, remember what I always say, try not to take your first idea or the first automatic idea. Try to see if we can dig deeper. Is there something else in the name, like S and S Weeper? S and S Weeper. What if we did something like that? It's like something and something weeper, like crying. Okay, check this out. Check this out. What if it's a clown? Hear me out. Give me a second. S and S Weeper. Follow me for a second here. Join me. This is going to be a bit of a journey, so just be patient with me. S and S Weeper. What if it's silly and sad Weeper? What if it's a clown? What if it's a clown wearing a happy sad mask? He's silly and sad. Silly and sad weeper. He could be another one of the clowns. See what I mean? Like how we can take something that is so clear and obvious in one direction and then not take that clear path and make it something infinitely more creative. At least I think so. Maybe. We'll see, right? I mean, how cool is this idea already, though? What would his power be, though? Silly and sad weeper. I'm using my thinking. Well, weeping is to cry, right? Is there something that can be done with crying? I feel like I should copy these frames and put them... hello? I should copy these frames. Why won't you let me copy the frames? And if I move this, was it move? I feel like it's grabbing something over there. It's fine. There's something down here that is a little bit of a part of it. It's fine. That's okay. We'll get rid of that. Silly and sad weeper. Change the emotions of the enemies? Nah. Maybe he has 2 weapons? And based on whether he's happy or sad? What's up, Connor? Wait a minute. What if the mask is wrong? Hold on. Let me cook for a second. Let's make another mask over here. I have an idea. Instead of splitting it down the center, he has a happy side and a sad side. And when it's one side, he's something, and when he's the other side, he's something else. Let's just see what this feels like. I don't know where I'm going yet. So Connor been putting on some documents and it's been a hassle with the stupid printer. I hate with a firm passion printers. So good luck with that. No, actually, the idea with this guy is he's not a sand sweeper. It's S. The idea is S and S, weeper, which is silly and sad. Weeper. So I'm thinking of some like... Are these both smiley faces when you flip them upside down? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. Tragic and comedic theater masks. Exactly. Look at that. I don't know yet. I feel like one version of him is going to be something and the other version is something else. I feel like maybe his abilities change on his emotion. What if we did something like that? Is that not cool or what? Sad and silly Weeper. Let's see what he looks like. Is this gonna be creepy? That's cool. That's so cool. Same guy, but his mask will switch around. Sad and silly Weeper. He's not Sweeper. It's Sad and Silly Weeper. So it's the lines drawn right there. What's up, Modern Jack? How you doing, buddy? Let's check out Weeper. I'm just gonna put Weeper into images and see a bunch of people crying, probably. Apparently it's a fish lure too, and a monkey. I'm not showing it to you guys because I don't know what could potentially show up on screen. What is a purr? What is PER? Is purr anything? No. Other than like just a word. Eye-based beams. I don't like doing eye beams. If the Sabbard him eye lasers that look like tears. Is there a weapon that can be used one way and it's something, and then it's on the other way it's something else? You know? Like, he literally switches, his weapon flips around or something and it becomes something different. Is there a weapon that's something different the other way? I'm trying to think of something that's like double-sided, you know? But double-sided but different somehow. Like it's something on this side and then it's something else on this side. That could be something. Double-ended scythe. Yeah, but that's basically the same weapon twice, you know what I mean? I want it to be different somehow. I think I've realized chiptune helps me focus. What's chiptune? Sad and silly Weeper. GB Animation, what's up, buddy? Guys, remind me if Katurksy gets here today. I have something. I looked through all of my comments last night and did not see a single Katurksy. I'm gonna Google melee weapons. This should be safe. Let's see. The sickle's kind of cool. Well, if one is sad, what if I put in sad melee weapon and then silly melee weapon? Is that gonna do anything for me? I mean, what kind of weapon is sad? A primitive looking weapon? What's a silly weapon look like? Nothing, right? It's not any different. Frying pan? Maybe that... It's a handgun on a stick. That's actually, that is silly. You see what I'm saying? That's stick nodes. It's funny. What can we make? Oops, I grabbed the wrong thing. Sad and silly. Maybe a club for a sad weapon? That is a pretty sad weapon, right? It's sand and can be a shovelable. That was the first idea. Oh, 8-bit music. A club would be a sad weapon. Is there any reason why? I think it would be cool if the two weapons can somehow benefit from each other. Like, I want him to use this weapon and then swap. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They're one guy. It's one guy. He is Sandsweeper. This is him transforming. It's his transformation. A sword that's a balloon. And sadness, a deflated balloon like a whip. A whip is hard to animate. I'm trying to stay away from them if I can. Yeah, shoot that over to me, Modern Jack. I looked through every comment for Katurksy, and I did not see a comment. I'm not saying you're lying. I'm saying that TikTok is messed up. A silly hammer. I like that. What if they work in conjunction? What if the unhappy is a melee weapon, and the happy is a ranged object? You see what I'm saying? So like he could swing with the melee weapon, and then he swaps, his mask flips over, and then it pops out an object, and then he can hit that object. You know what I mean? That way he has a reason why he's going to be the sad and silly weeper. Why he's switching. You pinged it to me? Okay. Got it. That's so... Can you leave me another comment? Because I swear to you, it's not there. I looked and looked and looked. Juggling? Okay. So maybe he juggles bowling pins, right? That's like the typical item to juggle, right? Because I want it to look like juggling items. Should we do a bowling pin? Like bowling pins? And he goes between basically what is a bat and bowling pins? Yeah, right. Give me another comment. Let me see if it pops. I see you. I'll slide you up the list because 629. I'm working on people during 629. I see it now. I came up right away. Origin of Katurksy Man. Got it. So when he transforms, these like bowling pins can just like pop out immediately. But what do they do? I feel as though they should be ranged. These don't feel like they're on the right layer. Yeah, I don't know what's up with TikTok. I looked. And then I was like, okay, it's just like not showing. What could the pins do? Could these bowling pins have something to do with sadness? You know what I mean? I'm just thinking. We're using our thinking. Yeah, he can juggle these pins, but my idea is they like pop out. So when he switches his mask, they'll like spawn and float into the air. So if he's using his bat or his club, right? He has this like big club that he has. He has a club that he's using. Oh no, I didn't do objects this time. That's fine, we'll just do this. Like, I want him to switch and then, like, smack the bowling pins. Does that make sense? So, like, in combat, he could be switching back and forth. And they're going to be working together. The fire spin thing, that might be cool. Interesting. Yeah, he spins his mask. His mask literally goes like that. It just turns upside down and flips over. And he becomes the silly version of himself. And vice versa. See? So I imagine he could have these bowling pins and he tosses them up. Then his mask switches, and the bat spawns, and then he can smack the pins at you or something. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it needs to be a ranged object that has some kind of effect, and a melee object. And I like where we're going already. Now, is there any like secondary motion thing I can add? So what do the bowling pins do? That's a perfect question. That's a very fine question. Do they explode? Do they ensnare? Are they summons in some way? I don't think summons would be any good because that summons work by themselves. Can we grab any inspiration? Oh no, I just saved over Chronicle. Rest in peace. That's why we always save first. This is SNS Reaper. It's okay. I have the other version in the followers list. It's fine. Let's think. Can we draw inspiration from any other character of what those could do? You have the short little explosion. You have homing missiles, but that doesn't really play into like the melee setup that he has. If he hits him with his bat, they should do something. What are some things that they could do if he hits it with this bat? That would be really cool. Let's see. Let's see some of the other clowns. We have ensnaring, speed and a whip, poison gas, incendiary grenades that burst into flames on contact with the ground, but then it wouldn't. I wanted to have synergy with his bat. I wanted to have synergy with his bat. Shoot laughing gas. The bat gives his opponent sadness. Nah. Sadness is not really something. It's a physical effect that we can see and feel. You know, we want our characters to have seeable abilities, witnessable effects. You can make the bat engulfed in flames, and the pins are incendiary. Interesting. So they can be melee. Interesting. They could be super flammable. Hallucinations means you're just animating something different. That's harder too. A hallucination in the sense of what we do is just showing a separate animation, and you wouldn't know it until you cut back. It's a cool idea, but it's hard to execute where the audience is understanding what's happening. Like, maybe he controls when and if the pins burst into fire. Maybe. I like that. I think we're close. I'm trying to stay away from heavy effects like fire. A lot of people have a hard time with fire, and that could be overwhelming. You know? I'm not against it. I'm not against it totally. But, like, fire can be a big turnoff for other animators, because it's like, well, I really suck at fire, so I guess I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? I'm not against it, though. I think we're close. Maybe when he pulls the bats out, they just ignite. You know what I mean? Like, imagine he is, he's being silly, and he tosses out he spawns out a bunch of these bowling pins, right? He's being silly, and he's just, like, throwing a bunch of these out into the playing field. And people are like, what's going on? And they just kind of, like, land there on the ground. Like, he throws them all out, and then imagine they're just, like, on the ground, right? Like, piled up miscellaneously like this. And he's being silly. He thinks it's really funny. He's, like, laughing, and they're like, okay. And then his mask flips over, and they're just like, whoosh, in a big flame. It's like the bat itself is the match. They're just bowling pins until he becomes sad, and then it explodes in fire. They, like, ignite just because he takes the bat out. He doesn't even have to hit them with it. The bat just comes out, is spawned by his sadness, and then they just, boof, get turned into flame. So imagine in combat, he could be silly, and he's hitting you with the pins, and maybe he just starts tossing a few in the air, right? And they're just bowling pins. But then he becomes sad, and then now they're on fire bowling pins. Happy Face is the TNT, and sad is the detonator. Exactly. It's very visual. It's very simple to understand. The only downside is animating fire a bunch, which sucks. Trust me, it sucks. It's not impossible. It's annoying. But we're here. I like this. We're here. But maybe it's not fire. Is there something else we could do other than fire? I wonder. Like, I really like the idea of fire. I just think it might be a turnoff for some animators, potentially. But I'm on the line. Like, I'm almost ready to just accept it. You know what I mean? Sadness makes me think of tears, which makes me think of water, which makes you think they can explode in water, but then it's just like, what's the point, you know? So you're splashed with water. Make the happy face freakishly weak, maybe. I feel like they're gonna have two different kinds of animations. Like, sad guy is gonna mope when he's walking around, and happy guy is gonna be like bouncy and frolicky. I think that's true. I think he is going to be stronger during sad. He'll be buffed. And that's why something's going to happen with these pins. Like, he's like angry, you know, and then the happy version of him, he's frolicky. He's menacing, but it is, again, it's the ignition, it's the, what would we say? You said it before perfectly. Sad face is the detonator, and happy face is the TNT. Like, he sets up the attack, and sad face executes it. But is it as simple as incendiary? Because think about it, if I throw 10 polling pins out, and each one is on fire, you have to animate all 10 of them on fire. True. I guess I just see this as an overwhelming sense of, like, I mean, you could animate 1 or 2 fire explosions, throw them in graphics, and then, you know, multiply those, and it'd be useful. Because they don't have to stay on fire. They could just, like erupt in fire. And maybe the bat itself doesn't have to be on fire, because I don't want to have to animate perpetually the bat. But if the bat itself is just glowing and looks special, like so, then you don't have to animate the bat. You know what I mean? You don't have to animate the bat on fire. You can just tell that the bat is the ignition. And I think that might be enough. Let's do one more and make it white. Yeah. I like how you made the second mouth look like an eyebrow. Yeah, that was the game plan. It's like an eyebrow for it's like the eyes in both cases, but instead of it being eyes, it's the eyebrow, which gives the suggestion of eyes, and it's also the so like we get both benefits out of it. There we go. Like, that bat looks like an ignition bat. You know what I mean? Yo, maybe some of the pins explode in fire. You gave me an idea with that. With a sad snap of the finger, he magically explode or folia. Maybe some of the pins, yes, like you just said, you actually have it. And the bowling pins explode or shoot confetti. And the confetti ones make him happy. The confetti ones make him happy again. And he becomes silly. Yep, that's it. Because then you don't have to animate fire all the time, and you can do confetti sometimes. And the confetti can make him happy. And the confetti can be as simple as like animating a particle effect. Like it doesn't have to be squares. What makes him sad then? True. Maybe it's getting beat up. Maybe this is the first ever non-combo stick figure fighter ever. And he's a burst attack. He's the first ever burst attack stick figure ever. He just gets his ass beat when he's silly. He like frolics around tossing these bowling pins and gets punched and beat up and kicked around. And then he switches, and when he switches, like, it's just chaos. It's like a huge AoE nuke on the screen. You know what it is? Some of the... Because, okay, here's the issue with it being confetti making him happy. Is that, let's say when he transforms and all the stuff ignites, half of them are confetti and half of them are fire. If enough of them aren't confetti right away, it's not going to make him happy. Right? But now he can't spawn any more bowling pins because he's unhappy. What if the bat, like, hits with the bat, spawn confetti? It's hitting opponents with the bat that spawns the confetti. So that when he hits people with the bat, that is what makes him happy again because of all the confetti he gets to see. And then he turns silly again. Because he thinks it's funny. He's in this like buffed mode where he's beating people up. And he starts to get happy again. And you can even make it like kind of funny. Like he's sad and he's like hitting people, right? And then all of a sudden he gets a little more excited doing it and he gets faster. And then he transforms into his silly self again and he stops attacking and just starts laughing. He like, his mask switches around and he hunches over and he's like belly laughing. You know what I mean? But everyone else is still recovering from what happened. So it's like the happier, when he transforms, he's a burst. When he transforms, the pins ignite. He starts going into kind of like an enraged mode. And he gets faster and faster the more hits he gets with his bat because it spawns more and more confetti until he thinks it's so hilarious he transforms back into silly. Insults is kind of lame. I mean, we could definitely do that as part of how it triggers him. But I wouldn't say that it's insults that get him by itself. Like, you could, if you're animating against him, insult him, but you could also just beat him up. Because, like, he's going to start getting kicked and punched around too much as he's kind of playing around with these bowling pins. You know what I mean? I want to make sure it's just these. Trying to see what I like. If I have any default glows that I like. I guess not. I want to see if I add an add to this, if I like it better or not. I might not. No, I don't need that. To make people laugh? Maybe. I think he's trying to make himself laugh. Because he doesn't want to be he doesn't want to be sad. But other people are making him sad when they beat him up. See if I can do this in its own movie clip so I can not be bothered by the other things that are on the screen. Okay. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. I love comedy, sad face. I'm so depressed, and he mopes around while attacking people. That's exactly it. Oh, I just like control seed over something I didn't want to. I think. Yeah, I did. I gotta grab it again. Hold on, is this even working? I feel like it's not. Okay, it isn't above it like I thought it is. There we go. There we go. I like this a lot. What do you guys think? S&S Weeper. Sad and silly Weeper. Silly Mask version spawns pins. Do I need to put bowling pins? He's joyful, jolly, but weak. Sad comes out. Mask flips. When silly gets too beat up. Sad's bat ignites pins. Hits with Sad's bat spawn confetti that make silly come back out. Mask flips. I think I leave that part out. Sad comes out, mask flips when silly gets too beat up. Sad's bat ignites pins instantly. Hits with Sad's bat, spawn confetti that make silly come back out. Flips mask. I love it. It's a little bit wordy, but I think it's worth it. You know what I mean? Like it's very simple. It's really at its core, it's really simple. This version of him spawns and like sets up the attack. He's like the first ever bursty stick figure. You know what I mean? The first ever burst. He's like useless, then useful, then useless, then useful, back and forth. But I need to make sure that it's the same guy and you're not thinking it's two different people. Because right now I think, reading it, you think it's two different people. One guy. Two sides. Something like this. So that people know it's not two different figures. It's just one dude with two personalities, essentially. Can I ask you something? Go for it. What's up? Let's see. Can I do an envelope? Oops. Envelope. Try to envelope this. Let's see. Can you put my OC name? What are you talking about? Let's see. One guy, two sides. Ooh, I don't want that to be like that. I don't need an envelope. Just regular free transform, please. I'm trying to wrap the text around the arrow here a little more appropriately so it fits a little better. Can you put my OC chat, my OC name in the chat, please? I have no idea what you mean by that. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know what you mean by putting your OC's name in the chat. One guy. Two sides. Hopefully that illustrates it enough. Okay. Well, it looks like you just did. What's up, Michi? S&S Weeper. He's part of the clowns. Sad and Silly Weeper. Silly Mask version spawns bowling pins. Sad comes out, mask flips when Silly gets too beat up. Sad's bat ignites the pins instantly. Hits with Sad's bat spawn confetti that make Silly come back out. Mask flips. I think that's it. Can I do this? I think I can do this and make up more space that way. Yeah. That's better. There we go. I think that fits a little bit better. It does suck because I know that this character is going to get skipped most of the time when I post this because it's too much writing on the screen. But once I do animated versions, it'll be easy. This is number... Sand Sweeper, S&S Weeper, is 68. Should I feel like he should have some sort of like detail. The funny number's fast approaching, for real. Like, you're going to be animating a lot of effects, so I don't want anything secondary motion wise, but maybe a detail on his body. Like clown hair. But I don't want to do fro. Because we kind of did that already. Oh, we can do the bald version. The bald version? Trigger warning. Clowns. Too late. Alright, thanks, Michi. Sounds good, dude. Let's do... I don't have a TikTok or Discord, but can you help me ideas for character described to your... Oh, yeah. So, if you don't have a TikTok, I won't be adding you to the list, unfortunately. I might do a list in the future that includes like YouTube or something else. Originally, I wasn't going to be doing this live at all, but I figured if I'm doing this, why not do it live to share it with you? I think I'm going to have a stream where I go over your guys' characters and do like my own versions of them. But I'm not doing that currently. But that might be something I do in the future. Can I do... I think I could do something like this. Yeah, no, I think in the future... No, it's a good idea. Like, in the future, I'm gonna do a stream where I, like, go over your guys' OCs and do, like, my own versions of them, my own takes on them. You know what I mean? But right now, like I said, I originally wasn't even gonna do this live. You wouldn't even know that I'm doing this, other than you would just see the results on TikTok. But I realized, like, there's some value in me doing it live and being able to share that experience with you guys. There we go. That's a little bit something extra. I wonder if I could put these also behind in a way that shows on the other side. Yeah. Yes, there we go. There we go. That's a better silhouette. I like that better. Just thought it'd be a good idea to enter the tournament. Yeah, I'll see if I can figure out a way to get people into the Stones universe that isn't only through TikTok. Once I kind of get through this a little bit further, you know? That is the only downside is, like, I'm only one guy. Which there is no hurry for me to, like, sprint through this, you know, from the standpoint of, like, I'm not on a timer or on a clock, but I do understand people's urgency to wanting to make sure that they're included. I'm really enjoying the streams. Helps me when I'm working on my own stuff. It's just fun to watch and engage in. I hope so. This is, to me, is such a one-of-one streaming experience, because I don't know that this is something that other people typically do, which is good. I've always looked forward to creating an environment that is engaging while also being unique in the same thing that we've been doing, which is an animation, which is really hard to do. I feel like animation is one of the hardest things I feel like to keep truly entertaining from a standpoint of streaming, because it is so low value in its visual and how long it takes. But I feel like being able to talk through it and have something that, like, has a net result that takes like an hour or less, or 30 minutes, you know, because today we did that in 50 minutes, which I'm supposed to be making like 2 of these an hour, and I'm down to like 1 an hour, but whatever. I feel like the characters are cool. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, I think he's done. I posted him. He is saved. Now the question is SNS Weeper Neptune or Ultra Savior? It's gonna be one per stream soon. I know, bro. Oh my god, it's slowing down. He seems pretty Ultra Savior to me, and also Ultra Savior to me, also me. You guys think he's Ultra Savior? Really? I'm a staunch Neptune here, so you're gonna have to convince me otherwise. Highly emotional, explosives. You're gonna have to convince me why he's Ultra Savior, because he feels like a staunch. The clowns to me, in general, all fit like a Neptune vibe. You know? Ensnaring, whip, speed. Actually, I think he might have been Ultra Savior. Renz definitely was an easy Neptune. So he's let go from Clown College. At the start I was thinking Savior, but for now I think the finished design thinks Neptune. He feels Neptune to me, dude. Things that like explode. I haven't been up to date on the Team Neptune. Does he have just a gang of clowns now? No, there's only like, I think this is the 4th total clown. 1, 2. Yeah, there's only 4 clowns in total. And I don't think all the clowns are Neptune either. I want to use this category here to like categorize people potentially, like with their creature types. We have clowns, brutes, aliens, underworlds, demons, cursed children, avians, gods, robots, cats, aquatic, human. And then like I need to figure out what Gloopy fits. Gloopy's an alien, but like now we have 2 Gloopies. The aliens have 2 people. Gotta figure out what Rajamation's species type is. They're alien, but maybe there's a subclass of their characters. Silly, nature, and stat explosive. I think it's gonna be both teams. Do we leave it up to chance and coin flip it? He can't be on both teams. He has to be one or the other. There has to be some world building streams. Oh, there definitely will be. We're gonna have a stream where we categorize everybody as well, to the best of our ability, and then we're gonna find like subclasses. You know, if they're alien, like I think alien is a fair class, but I feel like, you know, Gloopy is an alien, Lucid's an alien, Yamaha's an alien, Kermalerma's an alien, Rajamations is an alien, Milkfast is an alien, Solomon's an alien, but I feel like Rajamations and Yamaha are of the same species, with like under the subclass, or the same culture under the same subclass as, or under the same class as alien. So I'll have to figure out, like, you know what I mean, like the different relationships that people have. Same thing with Gloopy. Gloopy and Lucid are aliens, but they're not from the same group as Yamaha and Rajamations. I think we do a coin flip. I think his whole personality is coin flip, right? Is kind of one thing or the other. So I'll do a public coin flip so you guys can see. Coin flip. This doesn't count. I'm going to hit the button. This does not count because I didn't establish who is what. So we're going to be flipping again. So heads will be Ultra Savior. Tails will be Neptune. Heads, Ultra Savior. Tails, Neptune. There it is. He is Ultra Savior. Oops, not YS. Alright, King is up next. Dunskies. Okay, King is up next. I'm trying to get rid of everything here. Clean the stage. King. And we are now going to go in and find out what our hex code is. King. It's a brown? Kind of. Interesting. Interesting. Generally queenly? Maybe. I do. This is queenly. King and queenly? Interesting. Has some nice king and queen Leah. They do. Well, let's get started. First step, I draw some poses. Just see what they feel like. See what they come off as. I'm gonna give myself some space here and move these away. Oh, that's cool. I didn't want that brush stroke anyways. The king needs to be protected. True. And that's why Queenly... I feel like he's not going to be as badass as Queenly. Queenly is a badass. I think he's going to share a similar crown to her, but it won't be pink. Queenly's crown is pink. His won't be pink. Nice little orange crown. Yeah, so like actual chest. Yeah, similarly. I don't want him to be weak, though. He's going to have something, but he's not going to be this battle princess warrior. Okay. The others would crumble under pressure. But considering chess influences maybe has some OP ability that makes him significant, yeah. I'm trying to think. Like, he seems weak, but he does have something. I wonder what that something is. Just drawing stuff. Don't mind me, King. Summons? Maybe. Summons are a little bit annoying in the sense that if they're too complex, you end up animating summons more than your character. King controls his pawns. True. Pawns. What do pawns look like? Pawns are like this. Whoa, be careful. Circles. Springs. Ghostly spirits that assist him and protect him. Those can get annoying to animate fast, though. I like where we're going, though. We're on the right track, for sure. I'm just trying to keep it more lightweight. What do pawns look like? Can a pawn be useful in some way in what we're trying to do? Just drawing, just drawing. I don't know why I'm drawing a pawn yet. This is purely experimental, just seeing how it feels. I just want to see if this triggers something. Something more Harry Potter. He has to put in the work, punch, kick. Summons more like ghostly spirits that assist him or protect him. Maybe he could literally summon spawn pieces and throw them around like projectiles. Queenly is very strong. King not so much. His ability that puts his powers on equal measure, even if he's not as good as fighting. Since the pawns could make him weak initially but level up. That's kind of cool. There might be something there. Is there a way to make this a weapon? Can we weaponize this? Crown changes depending upon the course of the fight, maybe. Pawn has to actively prevent it from leveling up, otherwise the opponent is screwed. It does look like a scepter. Pawn blade? I feel it more as like a mallet or hammer. Like, you know what I mean? It does look like a scepter though. I'll give you that. But I feel like he's wielding it like this. You know? We're onto something though. There's something here for sure. The longer the fight goes on, he progressively gets better. Kind of like how pawns work in endgame. Scepter, someone I also use it as a weapon. Is there a way we can give him a striking silhouette? Right now he has a pretty striking silhouette. You know what I mean? If you're to take all this, you know, like that stands out. But if we have all these conditions and it evolves, you know, every king has a cape, you know, I agree. I think a cape goes hard here, but we need to make sure we have the other stuff fleshed out first, because I don't like adding secondary motion objects until I understand what the character is like, because you might find that you have a secondary motion to animate, and then also his primary function or abilities are also very animation heavy, and then you're like, oh, you know what I mean? But I agree with you, and we will fit in a cape if we have the space. That would be like almost like Surtex. That would be like Surtex, I think. So maybe not like that. I think we're onto something here. We are onto something here. What it is yet, I don't know. But we have arrived at something. Can we draw any more inspiration from Queenly? I do like the idea of King getting progressively better as the fight goes on. I agree. I agree with that as well. We have to be careful about making it not get too convoluted, you know, like too many steps. I usually like things that if they get like an evolution to something, it's visual and very simple. Like for instance, last night we made Yamaha. Yamaha has a 2-part weapon. He has a staff that he uses as a melee weapon, but it also shoots out these creepies. And it'll shoot out these creepies depending upon how many of his wands he's holding. They're like power sticks. So he could adjust and do, you know, if he's only holding one, it'll shoot out one creepy. If he feels like he's under attack, he might hold on to, you know, I don't know, 10 of these at once. And shoot out a ton of creepies at one large target. So it's like the same effect each time. So you don't have to question like, oh, what is the next part? I don't understand. You know what I mean? It's the same thing, but it's a multiplier. Can we do something like that? King's Madness is his weakness? Maybe. Is there a power that he can give or has that progressively gets stronger and you don't need to understand the layers to it because there's only one layer and it's just more of or larger? There's some kind of adaptive illusion that he improves based on his opponent and how long he can draw out the match, which contrasts with Queenly already being skilled and strong by default. I like that. How could we represent that in a way that's simple? I mean, there is the like changing of the head of the weapon to showcase it being, you know, pawn, bishop, knight. Crown growing brighter might be cool. We're using our thinking. Faster, stronger, more complex. I don't like steroids. Outright just steroids. That feels a little boring, but we're somewhere. If he's out of power, he gets checkmate. If he's out of power, that is checkmate in every fight. Kind of like how Gilded Guy. We're close. What's up, Josh? I missed Josh coming back. Maybe instead of a weapon could be turned into a familiar that the king has to protect and allow to level up. Like a puppet that he protects? That's more so like Queenly, I would say. I would say Queenly would be protecting him. Tailpiece is like a peacock? Yeah, I was kind of thinking like that. How did you retain some powers after every match with RHG? Yeah. Possibly. Yeah, there's some kind of like cool visual here. Like there's a cool visual here. Why? I don't know yet. What's up, Oxab? How you doing, baby? Each staff controls a separate entity. That would be a lot of animating. Like the tower. Just finished streaming. I would have rated you if you were on Twitch. Oh. Just like the bishop. I feel like it's close, man. I just don't want... I feel like it can get so complex so quick with like different chess pieces that it can get muddy. What have you been working on, Oxab? What? King Brown? Oxab versus Umbrella. Woo! That's hype. That's so exciting. I've been making RHG characters, Oxab. I've been making a lot of them. A lot of them. Oh, then you saw the episode? Nice. I'm in the process of making one right now. But I don't know what I'm doing yet. This is the messing around period. You should respond and he'll draw you an... yeah. Oh, how Skibidi is an interesting character. Yes, sir. I like this, like, this back bling visual looks good. But I don't know what it means or why. That shape language kind of reminds me of Sohei from For Honor. Posted in general for reference. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Chess wings. Maybe he can fly? Colonies he took down? Yeah, things like maybe these all represent places he's conquered. King conquered. Weeping Angel. Queenly, yeah, he's related in Queenly. Queenly's like his warrior. Warrior and protector. She's like his badass. The kings he annihilated. I wonder what that does for him. You know what I mean? There's something here. We are close. I like the pawn idea. Okay. Maybe they spawn other sticks that have heads resembling the chess pieces, and they attack like they would on a chessboard. That's really creative, but might be convoluted visually, and would require multiple people to fight for him every time to really showcase it, you know? They become a queen if they cross the battlefield? King's Cross, though. I feel like there's some kind of an effect there. Like the word cross made me think of something. Maybe takedowns make him adds another pawn. He forces you to a game of chess. We're fighting! Sit down! We must play chess. What's up, Mr. Guy? If it wins, the player disappears, not dead. When a piece is knocked out, where does the piece go? It goes off the board, right? What if he respawns when he hits you with his pawn? You're spawned to your like a different location. So like he hits you, and it'll just move you to a different location, and you'll still be hit by it. But it's like, it's a way to keep you away from him. Every time you gap close and you come into contact with him, he'll hit you with his pawn, and it'll move you somewhere else, and you'll react somewhere else. That would be really cool and really simple. And it's much like when you take out a pawn. He captures you. Interesting. Like, combat with him is really defensive. Like, you have to dodge all of his attacks. And it's not like he does a ton of damage to you, but it would be really frustrating. If you're a melee character, it's gonna be really hard to gap close on him. And if you're ranged, you better hope your range does a lot of damage. I like that. And the knight the knight's hit pushes the L shape and slams him to the ground kind of deal. I don't know that we even need to change anything other than, I think you just stay pawns. You're fine, Rivera. There's no bad writing there. What if the pieces aren't actually people, but things he can plant down? Interesting. You mean like he can stick these in the ground or something? What if these are spawn points? What if these are spawn points? So in a battlefield, he can stick them into different locations, and when he bops you, you'll get randomly chosen to those locations. They're spawn points. Oh. They're spawn points. I like that a lot. Because then he can set up the battlefield to, like, he can make you take fall damage if he threw these pawns up against the wall, bopped you in the head, and you not only hit the wall, but then you would bounce off of it. He could throw them into the air, hit you, and you'll fly from that location. Ooh, imagine that. Imagine that. He throws a pawn into the sky, right? And then he hits you, right? He hits you. You would immediately go up here and then fly down. Yeah, the longer the fight, the more spawn points he has. You would spawn up here, but then you would come crashing down really fast. And if you were beating him up and getting too close, he could have a early spawn location that is like really far away that he set up. So he hits you and you go all the way over here. Yeah, he can do some insane combos. This is like the perfect kind of character. You see what I'm saying? Where the ability is super simple. You don't have to do any like thinking or have any background knowledge or anything. As soon as the ability happens one time and is illustrated, you can get infinitely creative with it, but the viewer can instantaneously understand it after like one use. One use of bop it, like one use of me walking up, sticking one of these in the ground, and then you come running at me, and I bop him, and you go boom over here. Ooh, does he still have a cape? Ooh, that's a good question. Because now he has a back bling. His back bling will change its size, but you gotta keep in mind that his back bling will continuously need to be animated and adjusted. So kings do have capes, but that's kinda his cape space right now. So maybe not. I do want to see if we can make this king crown glow. Let's see what sparks glow look on it. I think sparks glow if I tone it down a little bit. Let's see what this looks like. You could give it a spiking energy arcs. That would be cool. He starts with the cape, but then changes into a spawn point. Yeah, cape might make it too messy. What's up, Donnie? Yeah, so Donnie, check this guy's out. His ability out. He has these spawn stakes. They're spawn stakes. If you get hit with his weapon, he can choose to spawn you at one of his spawn locations. So imagine he takes one of these and he tosses it on a hillside, right? And it sticks into a hillside like so. and then you come running at him, he bops you over the head with it, and you go boom, you slam into the wall and fall down. Or he tosses it straight up in the sky, and it's flipping and going like this. You come running at him, or he runs at you, and he smacks you straight down to the ground. You spawn up here and come flying down. And he can set up multiple different variations of spawn points all over the place. So during battle, he can present a battlefield that's very in his favor. He could have, one that's up for fall damage, one that gets you really far away from him, right? Like way over to the side, so that if he's getting beat up too much, he can bop you and send you to this one way over here. He'd be really frustrating to fight. I like his visuals. What if he stabs you with the opponent's spawn point and he hits you? What happens then? You're dividing by 0, the universe implodes. Game over. You both lose. Just kidding. I don't know. This weapon is going to be... It's not just that his weapon is just another one of his spawn points. The weapon itself is going to be unique in some way. How? I don't know yet. Yeah, he teleports you, in short. I'm just messing around. I don't know yet. Yeah. Could I do an advanced and throw a tint? What if it's a golden? A golden tint, maybe? Throw advanced? Maybe. I kind of just like that. What's up, Waddle? Yeah, the gold does look kind of neat, though. Because I'm, like, coinciding it with the, his crown, you know? Hi. You have the veggies. There's like 2 pieces, I think, left. He spawns a big knight and hits you with his spawn point to somewhere else. I don't know that I want to do other different pieces, just because it can start to get messy visually. Like, I don't think that's a bad idea, but I think it starts to get a little too messy and convoluted in the sense that the viewer is going to need more data to work with to kind of, like, grasp what's going on. And I don't know that, you know what I mean? Because then there's more conditions that you have to teach the viewer. You have to teach them that there's different effects. You know, like you have to think of it. You have to think of it like that. Like every effect you give is a lesson you have to teach the viewer. Otherwise, they're not going to pick it up. They're not going to get it. You know. So I don't necessarily want to have to maybe illustrate to the viewer too frequently what it is that's happening, the way that it's happening. That's the only downside with adding like too many more effects. If you keep the effect simple, but you extend out the creativity using that ability, they don't have to learn anything else. Does that make sense? I like this. I like this. What happens if I do this? Whoa, that's cool. Sometimes I just like to play with blends just to see how different ones feel. That's kind of cool. Can I do an alpha version of that hard light? Maybe? Very subtly? No, I don't think that's necessary. That is the Oxob Quinley attack mode and King is a defense mode. Exactly. It's beautiful synergy. I agree. I think he's good to go. Yeah, I think he's good to go. Let's see. A true king plans ahead. Spawn stakes. What if you have to fight Andre and some other common RHG and makes it come full circle? Well, the battle is going to be taking place in Andre's arena. So they're going to see, he's going to witness this in some way or shape or form occurring. Like the gods are going to spawn them in Andre's arena and then take them to the void, the white void, to fight. But they're going to meet in Andre's arena. So he's going to witness them. Spawn stakes are spawn locations. Is this not centered anymore? It's not. Spawn stakes are spawn locations. The king's weapon impacts from the king's weapon teleport the struck object or person to a spawn stake location. I'm trying to think, is that the easiest way to say that? I'm using my thinking. It's also with objects too, so think about it that way. With objects, he could also strike objects and set the battlefield up that way too. True King plans ahead. Spawn stakes are spawn locations. Or should I put teleport locations? I think it still works. Spawn stakes or spawn locations. Man, if Queenly and do a tag team, they'd be really challenging to deal with. They would be, because Queenly would be all up in your face. And then if you get to the king, he can actually teleport you back to Queenly, and you have to keep battling Queenly. Does this make sense? A true king plans ahead. Spawn stakes are spawn locations. Impacts from the king's weapon teleport the struck object or person to a spawn stake location. I think that's pretty simple. Okay. I think we're ready. I think King is ready for the main stage. Now, is King Ultra Savior or is he Neptune? What do you guys think? It's funny, the King and his Jester. He's right next to some clowns. One Neptune? Really? Oh, you know what? I could give him a face. I never actually gave him a face. Let's not import King yet. Let's give him a face. I never actually got to learn what he looks like. There he is. Hi, King. There he is. Hello, buddy. Now he's done. Oops. Whatever. He doesn't have a name. Savior, Savior. I feel like he's leaning Savior. He's defensive as well. You know, like, I think defensive as your offense is already speaking as someone who is trying to not seek a fight. Where did Queenly fit? Queenly was Ultra Savior as well, so that makes sense. Let's add, that's another Ultra Savior. 33. Did I add that number last time for Sandsweeper? I don't think I did. Hold on, let's do a quick count. Quick count, make sure the Ultra Savior is accurate. It is, oh, Ultra Savior is 35. Neptune is 34. Oh, so I miscounted on two of them. There we go. 35, 34. Ultra Savior takes a slight lead. This is all a ploy for me to get more busted RHGs in the tournament. That's nuts, dude. I do want you guys to think. I am the Danger King. I want you guys to think, what characters would you like to see come to life first? You know, in short little tests. I already have an idea for Renz, Rosk, even Yamaha. I imagined last night how I would do like a quick little short test that kind of brings them to light. But try and think of, looking at the roster list, who you might want to see come to life. I would have fun animating just about any of these. To be honest with you. I come from a place of keeping animation in mind. MJ Tron, totally not biased. Mine, obviously. Waddle Dog, woohoo! Quack. King would be fun to animate. Sandsweeper would be fun to animate. I mean, any of these. Pan Butelli would be crazy looking. Lamonio would be funny. Anya VA might be kind of difficult. Spawning the multiple kunais that are on like whips, basically. El Stevie would be a lot of fun. King is pretty sweet though. But I think, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Gloopy in action would be fun and bouncy. I'm gonna go ahead and upload King into the mountain. Oh, we haven't exported yet. Let me upload King into the mountain, and then I'm gonna take my lunch, and then we'll be back again in for the afternoon after we get this done. Skis. I'm gonna post on TikTok with our new characters that we have, because I think I have about 5 of them again. And so King's up in the mountain. Was there a crown emoji? Let me see. Crown. Yeah. There we go. Kings Up in the Mountain, I'm going to make a post on TikTok. Please, if you see the post and you are on TikTok, be sure to leave a comment, say something, like it, share it, repost it. Anything that you could do, especially if you're one of the early people who are seeing it on the FYP, it helps it a lot. I want to continue to build out this world and get people seeing these things, little bits and pieces of it, as we get closer and closer to animating the tournament. That is number 69. We have now made 69 LOL characters in just over a week. Just over a week and a half, I would say. Pretty freaking crazy. How does one get on a list? There is a post I have on TikTok where if you are following and leave a comment, let me see if I can grab it real quick. I'll get you the link. Following and leave a comment, I make you an honorary character that I'm adding into this Stones RHG universe. Funny number, woo! Yeah, but this is almost like our Pokédex at this point. But the details are on that post there. But anyways, friends, thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to hit up the Discord. I believe the link is in the description if you want details or want to continue the conversation. There's also people who are posting fan art in the Stones RHG Universe Creations page. This is where I post the characters as they're created, and you also see people doing fan art, like you got Neptune fan art here. This is Ren's fan art. You know, some cool little pockets of fun. Now, who's that RHG? Look at Cashier. Love that. Mio hanging out with Mr. ZZZ. Right? It's pretty cool. So be sure to check out the Discord if you haven't already. Otherwise, I will be back later for an afternoon stream, which will be in a couple hours. All right. Thank you, friends. I love you. Have a wonderful rest of your day if it is nighttime or something for you. And you won't see me again until next stream. So, all right. Bye.